Welcome to a new adventure with Wandering Monster. Explore the dark Caribbean with our cast: Kevin Welch as Death Turtle, Bridget Brave as Esther, Charles Bernard as Checkmate, Mr. Patchkey as Burnout, and John Baltusberger as Fastinus Marlowe, as we play Pirate Borg. Our intrepid scallywags are cultists of Basatan, the crustacean god of crabs, who dwells in the deep, fomenting the tides of chaos and atrophy with each and every dawn. What will our friends do to hasten the deaths of all things? How much trouble can they get into along the way? Find out that and more now on Wandering Monster, The Price of Ash. Roll initiative!
I was expecting some type of dramatic drum roll or crashing of thunder and lightning or something like that. Horses
we'll add that in
winning
post.
the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So, with that introduction, if you, I guess, is kind of like a top-down. Yes, this is a Mork Borg variant on the actual world of piracy, and kind of as a good like safety note or kind of like entry into this is that if you are familiar with the sordid history of real world pirates and the world issues that were happening at the time, there were lots of terrible things and atrocities that happened, and the book itself makes mention of this, so I think it's also good to mention it as well, that we're not going to pay any disrespect to any of those atrocities by getting into it in a gamification way. We're going to kind of focus more on the gameplay, the lore of pirates themselves, and we'll let history itself speak to the atrocity of real people and their real crimes. So just kind of putting that out there that this is all a very fictitious version of the Caribbean in a mythopoetic kind of setting, everything framed in the end times just as Mork Borg is. So putting that out there, getting it out of the way, learn more about your history of pirates. It's fascinating. So we at Course of Wandering Monster always like to do a little twist or spin on the games that we run, and we are going to add our own flair to the Pirate Borg experience by putting our cast in the kind of the role of antagonists in a way, more so than the usual anti-heroes and scum that they typically play and are in real life. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But all of the characters that are going to be in this drama, as it were, are cultists, are part of the wretched, the forces that are actually trying to bring about the end times. So if you enjoy chaos, space marines and all of that lore, and just kind of the person just kind of egging on the worst of things to happen, that is a little bit of what our anti-heroes are going to bring into scope and focus.
You're speaking my language tonight. I love it.
So I'm going to actually, why don't we let our cast of scurvy-ridden rats kind of introduce themselves, and then I will set the scene for where we begin our tale in the dark Caribbean. But that means that we need someone to be so bold as to walk the plank first.
Spoiler alert, it's me. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Shock.
So I will be playing the role of Lucas Checkmate Colstain. Now, I resent you saying that the entire crew is scurvy ridden, because while citrus fruits are the best place to get your ingredients for avoiding scurvy, any fresh meat or game that is like not preserved can help with that. And funnily enough, we'll just get into my backstory in a second. I am of the class Rapscallion, which means I am a backstabbing, hard gambling, shadow sneaking, breaking and entering, poisoning, stealing son of a bitch. And it says here I can be found in taverns, shadows, and shallow graves, which I really like. That is where I'm going to wind up. So in addition to being able to brew grog, which is great, I am also the crew cook. How I wound up as one of the wretched is a bit of a tale. You see, I was a ship's cook, and I was kind of a hungry guy, and I never had any complaints about the food, the quality, the taste, the quantity. It was all good. And someone started raising a fuss about like every time we do some swashbuckling and arms and legs get lopped off, like they kind of disappear. And like, why did that guy who fell off the deck last night's like gold ring show up in the chili? And like, what are you doing below decks feasting on a human corpse? And so when it looked like the jig was up, I just straight up jumped overboard and swam for it, which strikes me as a really bad exit strategy. Middle of the ocean, I'm just like, I'm out of here. So I hunger. I picked up the hunger while I was a cook, and continue to cook according to the hunger's predilections. And the great old ones understand. They don't shame me for my appetites. They don't tell me that it's healthy and natural to eat stuff other than like my favorite food, which are rats and human bodies. They were very accepting, the great old ones. So here I am, gaunt, ghoulish, with a distended belly. That's accurate to life. Deep and sunken eyes. Yeah, I'm getting there. And it says far too wide a smile. So all the better to eat you with, my dear.
Fabulously done. Fabulously done.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's a hard act to follow, but I'll try. So I'm Esther, otherwise known as Spike by my friends, but my friends all died on the last ship. So you can call me Spike if you want to. They were killed by undead. And I was left to live on purpose. So that's kind of how I ended up here. I am dressed in conquistador armor. Don't worry about it. We're not gonna go there. It was not mine originally. We'll just say that. I'm a bit of a scoundrel. I'm a highly functioning alcoholic. And I'm kind of like the undead because they let me go. So
nice. I'll go next. All right. I'm playing Jacob Death Turtle Baker. He random really rolled the name.
I love it.
He was a ship's medic for the last 3 ships he was on before they all sank. So he's pretty paranoid getting on any ships because it seems like every time he steps foot on them, they just end up sinking. The last one he got on actually, it obviously sank and all that, but as he's like drifting out in sea, he was visited by just like a swarm of crabs for some reason, and one of them handed him a piece of a colorful coral, and once he touched that coral, he had this insane visions of like just colors just shooting at him and just weird spectral eldritch sort of stuff going on, and he was imbued with powers. Jacob's a sorcerer, so he once he got to shore, he was disoriented and finally got his head straight, and then realized he has the power to spiritually possess people.
Nice.
And cool. We'll do with that as we will. But still with that whole ship medic thing in the back of his head, he's more of like he's gonna try to make sure not everyone dies, or at least try not to die. And if he does, he'll possess them so that they can continue to go and do things and smoke ash. All right.
Is that your way of suggesting that I go next? It's me, right? Well, I be called Burnout. Pretty much what you see here is what's described, except for Burnout has long hair. Well, that being said, Burnout has his trusty sword that is unbreakable. It is also a saber. So this time, accurate.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only I would imagine it's probably not it's probably just like the standard little thin metal thing there. But
Yeah.
Anywho,
for those of you listening on the podcast later, Pashki just produced an actual saber to rattle. So there you go.
It's not that rattly. I mean,
I think you're supposed to do it in the sheath or something, but yeah, you're right. It's not rattling in midair. Or maybe you rattle it in someone's bones when you stick them. I don't know.
Nah,
Ooh,
or maybe
good
it's
way.
just when they hit each other, they rattle and make a nice noise. But yeah, anyways, so Burnout at one point was a lead mutineer on a ship, took control of it, was in charge for probably about 3 days before he himself got mutineered and lost control of the ship. I don't want to talk about that. We don't need to bring it up again. You know it happened. I know it happened. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We're moving past it. Now we worship an elder god, and I have a little guy that I feel correctly depicts him.
Dapper.
Look at him.
Love it.
He's
Love it.
so cute.
He is.
My name is Faustinus Marlowe. I'm what some might call larger than life. What that means is that I am morbidly obese. Which seems rude to me, right? Like, I'm not larger than life. I'm alive, aren't I? So, ergo, I'm as large as life. Important thing to remember here is that I am a learned man. I studied in academy. I was to be an officer. Oh, no, Faustinus, you're too fat to be an officer. How you can't fit in your uniform? La la la. Well, I won't say that slaughtering and eating the crew helped me lose any weight, right? But I did find in the captain's desk beautiful prophecy, wonderful transcripts detailing the worship and service of the true gods of the sea. Some might call me a zealot, some might call me a fanatic, but I worship the truth, and the truth is briny. And the truth is still getting over COVID.
Yeah, that's a rough voice on just getting over COVID too. So you have
Shut your skinny fucking mouth and make me a rat to eat. I also like eating rats.
Yeah, I forgot to add my really good joke about how I'm a rapscallion who likes to eat rats with scallions.
That's a good joke.
And I'm listening with rapt attention.
Yeah, yeah. It's canonically my favorite food, other than man flesh, is rats. So,
oh, we're both. I didn't even think that we're both cannibals when I was coming up with that. How fun! We're playing
dining
ourselves
at the captain's table together.
Yeah.
What was your character's name, John? I forgot to write it down.
Faustinus Marlowe.
Yeah, just call me Checkmate because it's a lot easier to remember than Lucas Cole's.
You can call me Fasty, which is funny because I don't fast and I don't move fast.
You straight up sound like a 40K character. It's great.
Thank you.
Also, I forgot that I have a pet monkey. What should I name it, and how far should I keep it from John's character?
Oh,
what's the name of the monkey in Monkey Shines? That's what you should name it. Let me Google.
I think its name should be Monkey.
No, Dexter's Labalsuas.
Hang on. Will they?
I don't know.
What was the name?
Let's name it Steamship Willie.
Steamboat Willie, yeah. Steamboat Willie.
I do.
Keep in mind that steamboats haven't been invented, but we have Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
He's ahead of his time.
I do have a pet parrot. Its name is Saffron.
Well, I believe Saffron's going to be my best friend because I'm infested with bugs, but that's neither here nor there.
I think it's both here and there, actually.
Let's not talk about it.
there, and there, and over there.
And pretty much everywhere.
Yep.
All right. So our tale begins at Bastion. It's a small island at the end of the Fingerbone Islands, this north of Tortuga, an archipelago of pleasure islands that survived the scourge, but have fallen into ruination with the collapse of Nassau Town and the fading glory of the Republic of Pirates. Here, ash dens and grog houses buoy the dwindling population. But what makes Bastion unique compared to its neighboring islands, such as Long Watch, Ralph's Spite, or the Boneyard, is the small but growing cult of wretched who worship the great old one, Basatan, Lord of Crabs. He speaks to his faithful through inconspicuous crabs and strange nautical visions. As the end times draw ever near, his silent ambitions grow and grow. And now a set of circumstances has been set in motion, which is beginning to unfold and perhaps hasten the end days. But that's getting ahead of the story itself, because like all great pirate tales, this story begins in a seedy tavern, or in Bastion's case, the Ash Hole, the best ash den in all of the Fingerbones. So our colorful cast here is seated, sprawled, or everybody's just lounging around this ash-laden den. For people who aren't familiar with the lore, ash is a great and expensive commodity in this world. The scourge itself being when a plague of undead rose from the sea and began devouring everyone. The undead that were destroyed as civilization was fighting back would fall apart into ash, which, of course, as humans like to tinker with things they shouldn't, has been found to be a psychoactive drug. So these ash dens are much more popular than the opium dens, probably just as expensive or just as cheap, depending on the market fluctuations, and has its own rash of addicts and victims. So it is this seedy place that the tale begins. And it begins with the kicking of a door. The door kicks open, and you see Pete, or as a lot of people call him, Studman, him being the second ugliest man in all of Bastion, comes in with a huge crate on his shoulder, and this shit-eating grin on his face, which also probably you wouldn't put past Pete in the first place. And he says, "Boys, looks what I got." And you see already as he slams the door back with the kicking with his leg, you can see that ash is beginning to sprinkle out through the cracks in the case. He slams it down on a table. You hear the floor below groaning, and sure enough, it is a chest full of ash. He looks and gives a glance over to Glowbones, the proprietor of the ash hole, and says, "This one's gonna be on the house for everybody. It's free ash." You could see as this case looks like he had just plucked it out of the sea, still kind of dripping around the sides and kind of turning some of that ash to mud. So it's probably at this time, it's mid-afternoon, early evening, and a lot of you have just spent your whole day lounging, and you have the offer of free ash.
Do a bump?
Yeah, do the drugs.
Well, who am I to say no?
Why is it free? Why isn't he telling us why it's free?
Why are you questioning why it's free? Get a fill.
Yeah.
Is that an actual question that you're going to be asking, Pete?
Yes, I want to know.
I've already done some.
Probably me too.
Oh, I'll explain it, and then we'll see what happens when you use ash. So Pete pulls a dagger out, sticks in the crate, and pops the lid open. He goes, "Well, this was just floating outside in the water, believe it or not." And on the side of the chest, you can see that there is a stamp on the side. and it bears the marking of a local pirate captain, one who was actually quite legendary for his exploits. Not a high-ranking member of the piratry lords and the Republic of Pirates, but still one that is very fearful indeed. Jacob Thompson, or some people call him Sharkwater. But on the other side of it, it looks like someone has more recently put a fresh seal of the new Viceroy of Spain on the side. Because there was and he says, there was a shipwreck. I just must have crashed last night or maybe this morning. It's hard to tell with all the fog that's been billowing in just on the end of Long Watch. And this little bugger just floated up. So I got it. I thought I would share with all of my pals here. And he looks quite greedily down at the overflowing ashen side.
What's this guy's name?
Pete or Studman.
Right. Stubborn. Okay. All right.
No, Studman, like he's a stud.
Man.
I'm still gonna call him Stubborn. Is Stubborn a known communist collaborator?
Ooh.
I was like, well, I had communism once, but I put some cream on it and it got better.
That sounds legit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've already done some, so let's find out what happens.
Okay. So, all right, for whoever is doing Ash, roll D20.
Rolling a die. 19.
Okay.
I got a 4.
Was it just two of you then?
I'll
think
get
so.
in there. Why not?
Okay, no, I was just
All the
asking.
cool kids are doing it.
Yeah,
5.
I do give in to peer pressure, so I have 17.
Okay.
You were the one questioning it. Why are you jumping?
I want to see how pure it is.
These effects last for 2d6 minutes. So for you, Jude, you experience, your third eye opens, which is kind of frightening at first because that concept doesn't even really exist in this part of the world. It hasn't migrated over on the trade winds. So it's frightening when an actual eye in the middle of your forehead opens up and you perceive the universe. You perceive things beyond this world and your vision goes down into the abyss to where the dark things lurk and the great old ones still sleep. And you actually get the most fleeting glimpse of Bastan himself in his kind of coral palace, clicking his claws and looking at you with some type of grim approval, whether that's something for good or for ill sacrifice for later, has yet to be seen. But you basically, functionally, trip hella balls for 2d6 minutes, and you permanently get +1 to your spirit stat.
Ooh.
So that means I'm at a 0 now. Heck
Yeah.
Ugh. Good decisions.
Checkmate.
Sure.
So when you bump ash, you bump so much ash that it fills your sinuses. In fact, you can feel it itching and then burning, and it's starting to bore a hole inside of your skull, and it seeps into the meat beyond. Your eyes roll up in the back of your head, and you begin to foam a froth of vomit, blood, and something else that medical people will never be able to describe that's very Icarus and terrible. You gain a -1 to all of your abilities permanently.
Yikes.
Wow. That sucks.
This is a good start.
Yeah.
This is why ash is such a strange mercurial drug, and why I'm surprised everyone was just going to dive nose first into some ash, because it has some very interesting and deleterious side effects, but sometimes some good ones. All right, so as you Kevin, what Nick is a death turtle. So death turtle, as you sniff and you snort this, your vision, like the color just melts out of your eyes like candle wax, and everything becomes gray and lifeless. You no longer see the joy in living. Everything feels and seems dead, which would be a problem for everyone else, but you being in tune with the spirit realm, the spirits, you feel somehow almost relieved that you don't have this burdensome self-desires and other things, that you're just a little bit closer to the spirits that you commune with. But that effect, this lasts for, again, 2d6 minutes.
Okay.
And lastly, Spike, as you snort, you just get utterly amped. You feel your blood vessels dilating. Your muscles begin to just swell, and you begin to twitch and just begin to clatter your teeth together. You have +2 to strength and agility for 24 hours, and you won't even be able to sleep. You're just going to be just absolutely in a Coke PCP rage.
So these assholes get superpowers, and I basically snorted like Drano in powder form.
You idiot! Why did you do the good ones like we did?
Yeah.
I love the idea of them being like all amped up and just like dragging my ass out of there, leaking blood and vomit and ichor.
So as you're doing your ash, some other people in the ash den kind of amble forward in their stupor, and so just face plant into the crate. Everyone is just huffing ash. People are snorting ash. People are eating ash. People are eating other things. Yes, I mean, the more you get exposed to drug, the more debaucherous and more reckless you become with your drugs. So people are also just convulsing, writhing, other terrible things. You know that the people who do ash the longest get all kinds of odd side effects and marks that really show that they are chronic ash users. You can see that they have sunken eye sockets, darkened lips, and faintly glowing bones. Or in Glowbone's case, very vividly glowing bones. He himself, the proprietor of this fine establishment, is a very large, corpulent man himself, and you can see his glowing bones swimming within his form. Every time he moves, you can just see every bone as if he's like a permanent X-ray. So, as most people are now kind of in the thrall of ash, having their hallucinations, their rages, their sorrows, you start to hear there's like brain matter just leaking out of your ear casually. Happens. You begin to hear
the really fucked up thing is they had to stop me from going back for more.
Well, it's because you were trying to eat it. Never go ash to mouth.
Oh, damn it!
Bravo, sir.
We got there.
Requiem for a pirate, am I right? Ash to ash. So, as the drugs are flowing and grog also starts flowing, that's when lips begin to loosen and you start to hear some of the rumors from things happening. Some things are kind of whispered back and forth. You hear some things echoed, some people challenging things, but you hear that this fog that has been really covering the island for the last 2 days maybe isn't a natural occurrence, or maybe it's some type of omen. It was preceded a couple of days ago by a flotilla of ships from the new Viceroy of Spain attacking one of the islands to the north. And after a great siege, it was then that this fog rolled in mysteriously. It also seemed to be kind of around the time where ash just started appearing more at the local markets. Sometimes it gets so sparse that people would trade all their whole savings away just for one bump of ash. And now there's so much ash that people can barely even sell it, let alone give it away. just ill tidings and strange things. And then, as Pete sang, there was a ship crash just on the other side of Long Watch, where the old abandoned lighthouse kind of teeters about to fall. Pete looks at all of you with these very drug-addled eyes and says, I think there might be more of these crates in there. Or maybe some other good stuff, if it hasn't already been claimed by scavengers. You can always go do a look-see and see what we can find.
Right, let's go look around. Seems like a good idea to me. Hasn't hurt any of us yet.
I'm in it. A sneaky and now slightly brain damaged fellow like myself. That just sounds like, even if it's like the Ash economy is kind of a bust right now, like it just seems like free money to me for no logical reason. Free money.
It's my money, and I want it now.
That's right.
Fast is smiling a little bit crazily. He understands that while he does not use it himself, spreading ash freely amongst the population will hasten the end times and bring his clacky glory to the surface that much faster. So I think this is a wonderful idea. I do. I think that with the proper team, bringing it to the surface and sharing the wealth that Senior Viceroy is throwing away is for the greater good, shall we say.
I think we're in.
Yeah. For the greater bad.
For the greater good.
Good.
For the greater bad.
Yeah.
We are the cult tower, apparently.
I'm like, in that case, like, I think I probably look like a towel at this point with my nose eaten away by, the dust. I have a nasal canal now instead of a nose. All right, let's. Do we have a water whip? Do we have a boat, or are we gonna have to steal one? I hope.
Don't we have to name a boat?
A water whip?
I like that.
Thanks.
So between the lot of you, you currently have a dinghy. It's one of the starting vessels that you can begin with.
Cool.
As your cult is growing, on the sea cliffs that are on the south side of Bastion, it's riddled with these water-worn caves, and it is there that you hold your service, and it's also where your crew is beginning to, or your cult rather, is beginning to rebuild a sloop. So as you're getting more and more, as you're tithing at each of the lunar services for Basran, and you are doing your pillaging, you're bringing back those materials to help kind of build that ship, to help you expand his, like you're saying, clacky glory and so forth. So perhaps when you are looting the ship, you can find some more components to help build your ship so you can get back to seafaring.
Follow-up question: How big is our dinghy? How big is my dinghy, Ian? Can you help me measure it?
It doesn't matter.
It's cold out, all right?
And you should be proud of it.
Oh, all classy responses.
Yep.
The dinghy is at least large enough that all of you can fit inside it.
It's big enough, guys. That's fine.
Big enough.
Like, look,
Yeah.
We're gonna make it work.
The dinghy may be small, but the ship is massive. And
how much?
for some
No,
reason.
guys, I need to look. I don't care how big it is. I just need to how many seamen can it carry?
Well,
Enough.
enough. Yeah.
More than enough.
Yeah.
So in essence, it's just a rowboat, just big enough to fit the lot of you.
Perfect.
Cool.
Including my
Now-
fat ass.
That is a good point. We will save
Very
that.
fat.
Well,
that
if you sit right in the middle and then we evenly distribute to each side.
No, he's on one side. We're all on the
Oh,
other
the other-
side.
I was gonna say it's got a sidecar,
Middle
and then we're
unbalanced,
sitting
you
in
know?
the center. And the other one.
Maybe you could just float one of them with like a rope tied to the back and just bob along in the back.
I mean, how buoyant would you be by yourself? Can we just like put you on an inner tube and like troll you behind?
Probably. This character is slightly based on Harkonnen, so I'm extremely corpulent.
I love it. Like, yeah, put him in a tube then and tug him along. He'd look like he was in his floaty suit or whatever. So
I am also like a priest of our cult, so like it kind of makes sense. I'll be in the little tube with a scepter.
All right, I've got to interrupt right here because with our longer format, I get to do that now. And drop just a wee bit of Dune lore on you that you're probably not going to see in the movies. So the Baron Vladimir Harkonnen used to be one of the most handsome men in like the Imperium, and he raped a Bene Gesserit woman, and out of like vengeance, she gave him a weaponized disease, which is why he is the way he is. Like, she totally fucked up his body, and he's constantly like fighting a battle. Like, he's always right on the brink of dying without ever really dying. And he like is, can't walk anymore and stuff like that. So yeah, got her revenge on him. But that
makes the David Lynch film make more sense. Surprisingly.
Yeah. I think David Lynch actually read the books. Like,
that's not what I did.
Thank you.
I ate a lot of people. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, that's how I got this size IRL. So yeah.
It's usually customary to name the larger ships, but if you were to name your dinghy, someone said earlier that they really wanted to name a ship, you are more than welcome to name the dinghy
I
now.
named my dinghy Darth Onslaught. Oh, you mean the ship?
Yeah, the ship.
It is.
Darth Onslaught.
I think that works.
I can't think that.
So we've got Steamboat Willie and Darth Onslaught. We are on for an enrolled Grand Slam start.
This is going to be an
immersion, baby.
I'm just thinking about how old John was when he named his penis Darth Onslaught. Was it 11, 12?
There you go. Got it in one, baby.
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't tell anyone about it until college, though.
I hope this was the reveal tonight, like that.
It's something the public reveal. Everybody.
Oh, that's good.
Oh shit, my stomach.
Well,
All
I've
right.
updated my character sheet with
you are
Darth
in
Onslaught.
the Onslaught.
Our dinghy, the D Onslaught, named after John's D or dinghy, as you prefer. Hog. Yeah, that's right. Cranking it. And let's get cranking that hog. I'm assuming it has oars. I'm also assuming that John is too fat to row.
Oh God, yes.
Okay. So
luckily, the two islands aren't too far apart.
Okay.
In fact, you probably is maybe given how much weight there is, it might just be a 10-minute row, maybe 15, depending if you need to change oarmen to allow for snack break or whatever it is, since some people are of the portally side of things. So, Longwatch, he was home to a lighthouse that just after the scourge went through and business and economic trade began to dwindle in these areas, was no longer kept up since there was not money really to do so. So the lighthouse has fallen into disrepair, and it's almost kind of an irony that a ship would crash right in front of a lighthouse, but you can see that as you're launching off from the shore, that thick fog that's really been choking the whole bay is beginning to abate a bit, but it's still very hard to see ahead. If it wasn't for just how tall the lighthouse sticks up above the fog line, you'd almost miss it altogether. The island itself is abandoned. there are rumors of perhaps squatters living inside the lighthouse, but no one has actually seen anything over there because it's just too rickety and unsafe to really even climb the tower these days. As you are coming around the side of the island, you can see a hole, like the bow of a ship, just sticking out at an awkward angle as it's like listing inward towards the island itself. You can see the side of the ship has been absolutely punctured and gutted by a rock formation that people call the Fang. It's a large rock, and part of the reason why even the lighthouse was put there, because it gets shallow and there is an absolute ship cutter out there that has destroyed many a ship. The fog clings very heavily to the western side of the island and beyond, as if it's parting and thinning here, but beyond it, you can't see anything. It's just a curtain of gray and white swirling. But you can find a good area to land your ship on the north side of the island where it's safer for smaller vessels. You're not going to get pulled out to sea further, and it's not too close to the shallow area that can scrape and destroy the bottom of your hull. Who's getting out first, and what are your main actions?
I think we have to plan getting out of the boat so that we can...
So we don't capsize.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought we were towing him.
No, I think I'm probably sitting in the middle of the boat.
Okay.
Which means like y'all can kind of get out without worrying about it because I will keep it
Centered.
You know.
How high up on the side of the dinghy is the water? Like normally it should probably be like here. The extra weight though.
A better question is how far from the lip of the boat is the water? And the answer is probably like about that far.
Yeah.
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 It's a Bud Light from water.
Okay.
Even though it's a joke.
All right, I jump out. I jump out and get ashore.
I'll follow him.
Same.
All right.
I'll be last out.
Jude, since you are out first, and do you prefer to go by Jude or Burnout? Are people preferring to...
Oh, he was introduced as Burnout, but I mean, his name is Jude. But I mean,
using preferred pirate names and preferred pronouns. So I wanted to
you say Jude, people are going to think of Jude Law, and then they're going to get that image in their head, and that's going to be completely wrong.
I was thinking more, hey, Jude.
Oh, don't make it bad.
Make a sad song.
Burnout, as you get out first, and you're the first to step foot on this island, roll me a presence check.
14.
Okay. So you think that in the far distance by the side of the ship, where there's kind of a gaping hole, you're pretty sure you saw some movement. Like, pretty sure it was humanish, but it didn't disturb the blanket of fog that's kind of covering that end of the island. The lighthouse and the ship are pretty close together where they kind of crash together. There's just a couple of feet almost between them and the edge of the island.
I pull out my sword and I point. I'm like, hey, did you guys see that over there? It's probably got more ash. Right? I say we go. Huh?
Patience, Burnout, patience. I say as I kind of clamber onto land haphazardly, huffing and like hardly.
I think lumber is the word.
Tromble.
Yeah.
I love how we all said tromble.
Yeah. No. The fast is definitely a trombler.
Darth Trombler.
If there are others here seeking ash, there's plenty to go around. We should kill them and take theirs as well.
I like it. Let's do that.
I have to say that today was my first experience with free ash. It's way better than the stuff I've paid for in the past. So
free is
I'm in.
always better, my friend.
Wish
Always better.
Wish I could agree on this one.
What are you talking about? It was a glorious gift.
Literally the first decision we make in the whole season. He's like, "Yep," and that damage is permanent.
Talk about
Mork Borg.
to see God.
Yeah.
I saw the face of God. I threw up and peed myself.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I get my boarding axe ready, and I'm ready to join these guys and mix things up.
All right. So as you begin to approach the side of the ship, you can see that that looks like there are actually, I'm going to have all of you roll me a presence check.
Do I roll again?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay.
12.
Oh
12
boy.
as well.
10.
10.
That's really
All
weird.
right.
Wow.
So the 12s and above have it. You do notice that there are a lot of footprints back and forth. Pete had said that the ship had crashed within the last day, but yet you can see that there are tons of sets of footprints going in and around the side of the ship where the hole is, but yet you haven't seen any other footprints towards the typical landing area where you tied off your dinghy. So something is a little bit strange here. The fog, as you are approaching the ship, seems to part a bit, but it is yet still incredibly thick on the other side of the ship and going out into the waters. You can tell immediately as you get closer to the hull of this ship that this is of Spanish origin, that it is a ship belonging to the Viceroy of New Spain. And you can see that it does bear the markings, and the name is the Void Ripper. It looks to be a frigate, and it has sustained an incredible amount of damage from this, from berthing and jutting against the stone. You can see that the masts are kind of like listing at an odd angle. The ship itself sounds like, as it groans in the wind, as if it's almost ready to snap in half and fall into the sea. So being that you're coming up on the side of the ship where the hole in the hull is, there are multiple ways that you can enter into the ship from the top, going down through the cargo hole into the hold. You can go into the side of the ship. What is your plan of action?
I think the best stuff's usually in the cargo hold, right? Shouldn't we?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm saying you can kind of approach from the top of the ship or through the side.
I think where it took that damage on the side, I think that is the best intro.
Doesn't involve
The
climbing.
best entrance.
Yeah, so I'm in.
No, I'm not much of a climber, actually.
Yeah.
All right, so we go through the side?
Yeah, through the side.
All right, who is going in first?
I mean, my character specifically said he does not think first, so he would just proceed.
Okay. So as you amble your way inside of the ship, the first thing that hits you is there is a ripe stench of death. It's that sour yet sweet smell of like curdled lemons and acrid burnt hair, smell of meat then exposed to the air for far too long. And you notice that the ground inside the hull of the ship is carpeted with corpses. They all look it's a buffet for you, my friend.
Yeah, like no one in the crew is going hungry for like weeks. This is great.
Well, there you go. Make some jerky. Make some salt pork. You see that these corpses look relatively like they look freshly slain by how red and fresh the blood is, that you can tell it's been within a day, yet these bodies look as if they've been here for almost longer than that. Most of them are wearing the uniforms of New Spain, but then there are people who are wearing rags, and there are people that are also kind of chained together with manacles that are just heaped up in the floor, all caught by their chains. In these, from here, as you're looking more towards the stern of the ship, you can see that there are boxes, like heaps of crates and barrels that look to be split. And in the back, it's even darker and it's kind of hard to see. Does anyone have a light source that you want, or do you want to kind of maintain your stealthiness and move about in the dark?
My natural inclination would be to move around in the dark.
Yeah, there's no reason to alert others to where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, are we going with the traditional pirate thing where we have an eye patch over one eye so that like it's adjusted to the dark all the time, so we just switch it over?
Oh, smart.
I actually have an eye patch for that reason. No, I mean my character does, not me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a
Wouldn't
psychopath.
surprise me, John, of all the things I know about you.
That's fair.
All right, so I'm hearing that everyone wants to be stealthy in their approach.
Mm-hmm.
So as you are moving inside the space, I'm going to have you make an initial agility roll to see how generally stealthy you're climbing in this place and getting your bearings, and then we'll kind of reveal more of the innards of the ship bit by bit.
All of us make that roll?
You're all in there, and you're all trying to be stealthy.
All right.
Okay.
That's an agility check, my friend.
Yes.
Did I mention that I am larger than life?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just rolled a 0.
Wow.
So it doesn't really matter what the rest of us roll.
Do you get Winnie the Pooh through the hole? Like you're just
Oh, bother.
Oh, bother.
So, with something to keep in mind, there are some rule variants in Pirate Borg that are a little different than in standard Mork Borg. One of them being Devil's Luck, analogous to omens, and it works in the same way, but a slight difference is that instead of having a precise number that you start with, that's your start and end total, you have a die. A lot of you are D2, some of you are D4, but that means that when you have ample opportunity to rest or start of a new day, you actually get to roll that die and get that Devil's Luck back. So you get to more Devil's Luck more quickly, so you can use your omens more effectively. Not telling you need to burn one, just saying they're not as rare as compared to standard Mork Borg.
I have 2 hit points, so I'm going to save my Devil's Luck for now.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. So I'm kind of imagining it like you're saying that Winnie the Pooh, that all of you are very kind of stealthily moving in initially, and then you have Colossus Michelin Man get kind of stuck in the hole. And do you squeal like a stuck pig, or is it just the grunting as you try to pull yourself through?
It is cursing. Yeah, I am shouting curses in some kind of dead language. Like, you don't know exactly what I'm saying, but you know it's not polite.
The important thing is, you said you rolled a 0. Did you roll a nat 1 and then get worse?
No, I rolled a nat 2, and I have a -2 to agility.
Hey, I wanted to see how much I could screw you over without being
I would
too
have
unfair.
said -1 if I rolled a nat 1.
Well, that doesn't actually really help me because, like, I wouldn't know. Great. So, as you are exploring the ship and you're taking in the view of there are a lot of broken crates and barrels, there are a lot of bodies, you curse up a blue streak and you hear the sounds of floorboards creaking It's at first hard to tell exactly where they're coming from, but you know that something has noticed you. And it gets more quiet in the ship after that. It feels as if like the air is like they cut the tension with a knife. So you know you are being watched, or at least known that you are there.
Damn you, Burnout, I said be quiet.
What? I wasn't saying anything. You can't. You. I tell you, be so.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Like, look, man, I don't know. There's not anything quiet about me. Even just like walking, I'm not. Even without getting stuck, I'm just not a quiet person. And so I'm essentially walking as little as possible. Like I catch up, like I waddle up to the group, and then while they get a few more feet ahead, and then waddle up to the group again.
Whenever there's a counter or a ledge, you're just leaning on it, just like yeah.
Yep. Ship's one built for real men like me.
So what are we gonna do about the stealthy footsteps or watching and waiting? We could just be straight up, I don't give a fuck, and start not letting them know that we're aware that they are aware of us. I.e., start looking through them crates and barrels.
Or we could set a trap. We have a mage. Mage?
Oh, yeah.
Turtle?
Oh,
Mage.
Oh, my God.
What kind of magics you got here, bud?
How do you guys feel about possession?
Very positive.
It's 9/10 the law.
Hey, guys, you want to know something really funny?
What's that?
I also have a spell. Would you like to know the name of my spell?
Yes.
Is it stab?
It's silence.
You fucking asshole. You dick.
Here's an idea.
Be in the
Use
dinghy.
it.
I just thought there was neat trivia for you guys.
We are professionals.
Yes,
Oh my God, what
absolutely.
silence still is. Give me a second.
Yeah, that would have made everything within 25, feet utterly silent.
Like him.
I don't think we should probably. Don't think using it now would be good, as it would only allow whatever's watching us to sneak up on us.
Yeah, I think that moment's passed.
So what do you want to investigate? You have the deeper part of the ship, which is kind of still drenched more in shadows, and we're a little bit where some of those floor creaky sounds were coming from. You have a carpet of bodies, some of which look delicious to at least two of you, and then you have a lot of the cargo. A lot of it looks to be like it was almost intentionally spoiled, or the cases were broken open. You also have a somewhere in here there should be a ladder to go up to the upper levels as well.
Well, old Death Turtle here is kind of staring at everybody, just kind of standing around. So he just kind of start fidgeting, checking some of these bodies, see what's if there's anything to pull from them.
Can you possess dead bodies?
Doesn't say. It says one random creature is possessed by a spirit or ghost, and then all the other stuff.
Oh, so you're not possessing them?
No.
Dude, possess one of the corpses and have it scout ahead for us.
Oh, yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah. But it's a random creature. Does that mean you can pick, or it's just whatever's
Well,
about?
I think it's random, so it could be us.
One of us,
It could
yeah.
be
Ooh, I love it. Why don't you
I
roll
think you should do
D6
it.
and we'll find out.
I'm so excited, guys.
That's 5.
Okay.
So, Okay, well then I will randomly possess a creature. I rolled 5, but I do need to roll. I have to roll my spirit to see if it works. Because if not, then
So the spells that you have, you can cast D2 plus spirit spells per day, but your spells that you actually cast, they don't require a roll or a test.
Rituals. Rituals. Spirit DR12 before using. Fail means I get a mystical
rituals
mishap.
So rituals are other things that you can learn. So you can learn rituals from spell books, from grimoires, from ancient temples. So there are things that aren't class based. So the game balances a bit your class ability. So same thing like the zealot. When that zealot casts prayers like silence, there isn't a skill roll needed. But when you do rituals or you use artifacts, or rituals and relics, those require your spirit checks, but the threshold of things going poorly is much higher. Okay. People who aren't naturally spellcasters can use that, with the exception of the brute. So Burnout is the only person in the crew that could not use rituals or relics.
Okay.
I'm hoping to learn a ritual if Fast survives long enough.
I'm pretty sure there may be opportunities for that.
Beautiful.
Maybe if Fast survives long enough.
It's not your survival I'm worried about, it's mine, because like the one thing I have going for me is stealth. All my other stats are total shit.
You have a sweet drug habit going for you, that's going
true.
All your stats are shittier now.
Take that to heart, kids.
But so if you die, there's like a full buffet for Charles.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Life has its compensation. Oh, and that's what I'm going to do, by the way, right now. I'm carrying a satchel, among other things, and also my boarding axe. So I'm just going to trim a few Spaniards for meat, the ones who look like least gamey. So I'll be busy doing that while you guys decide.
It's just armor, dude, okay? It's just armor.
Not you. These new Spaniards.
So Death Turtle, as you cast spiritual possession, you send forth one of the spirits that's always kind of haunting you and cackling in your ear out into the mess of bodies. And you see as some of the corpses are losing their limbs to stew pot for later. You see that one of the bodies that is in more of like rags, like someone that looks like they are a typical pirate crew rat, begins to stir and stand. You see that they are the first link in the group of people that are all manacled and chained together. As it stands and tests its limb for the first time, you can see on his right arm, just above the elbow, there is a tattoo of a shark. It moans and wails just a little bit. Then it kind of snaps to wrap the tension. And you've given it that impulse to go and scout. So it's plods down the corridor, dragging the bodies of four other people manacled to it. And it's just dragging, just blood and gore as it's going along, just ambling footstep after footstore.
That should
metal.
be
beautiful.
That should be a creature in Pirate Borg. That should be like legitimately, chain gang. It's like one or two of them are dead, but the other ones are alive and chained together. I love it.
Marley and Marley.
Marley and Marley, yeah.
Muppets Christmas Carol. It ambles down, and then it ambles back in your direction. This is a very long, ponderous time. It gives Checkmate plenty of time to get lots of fresh meat, lots of quotation marks put in there. And it comes back to you, Death Turtle, and it says, I am not the only dead thing here.
What else is here?
And it smiles in a very weird way. Have you ever seen a corpse smile, that like kind of rictus grin, like its muscles fight with itself and a couple of teeth fall out as it smiles? I think it goes, the dead are here. And it turns and it looks, and you can hear like broken bones in its neck snapping as it turns to look. And you see there is a corpse beginning to shuffle down that dark corridor towards your direction. The floorboards begin to creak as it gets closer and closer, and you then look down at your feet and you can see some of the bodies that haven't already been lopped apart by Checkmate are beginning to stir and twitch a bit.
I didn't do all that. Just want that to be known. And I'm gonna look at the one that's chained up to his friends and like, go protect me. I am small. I am frail. I am not far away from dying.
He laughs at you and says, I will do this, but know this. You're fucked.
Probably.
Great.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, you guys want to run for it? Do you want to stay and fight?
We should probably run for it.
Yeah.
That means abandoning any semblance of gain from this, though, doesn't it?
What?
And also, when we kill the undead, don't they turn into ash?
How many of them do you think we can kill before we're overwhelmed, though?
Enough.
Well, how many dudes would you fight if every time you floored one, he turned into cocaine, John?
Every motherfucker.
So, as you're making your strategy, the first thing you notice is not all of them are immediately rising, and you had you disassembled a fair amount without them protesting earlier, Checkmate. But you can see you have at least one shuffling down the holds towards you. And amongst the littered corpses, you think that you see 4 of them stirring. It's hard to tell when some of them are piled up, if one's just wiggling or because of the movement, or if it's stirring as well. I'd say that all of you would be, I guess, familiar at this point, given the dark Caribbean, that these are zombies. A lot of the undead in the Scourge and other things are very skeletal based, but these are zombies, which in a way is better and also infinitely worse because they carry the curse with them.
Also, if their bones turn to ash, it's going to be all the ash is going to be inside their rotting meat, which is not great.
Yeah.
Also, is it only the bones that turn to ash? I didn't get that.
Well, but I mean,
well, he just said most of the undead are skeletal.
Okay, or skeletal.
What kind of zombies are these? Are they like Night of the Living Dead or Return of the Living Dead? Because are the body parts in the bag moving?
I would think it would be. Oh, that's a good question. Because you know what, though? The more important answer is it doesn't matter because, like, I'm just going to whack them with the hammer or the like blunt side of the axe if they start moving. So we'll just tenderize them a little better. And I guess if we bail, it's not like we don't have anything to show for it, because I did collect a lot of like limbs for us to eat. So I don't know. Do you guys want to fight?
I think that I believe a good plan might be to retreat to the opening where we can funnel our foes into a small area, as opposed to letting them surround and fucking eat our shit nincompoop.
So I still get to kill him. I still get to kill him, right?
Look at the what do they call it? The commissariat trained tactician over here.
I begin waddling towards. I begin trombling towards the opening.
Oh, he's gonna get stuck again. Somebody push him through.
Or at least we can get out first. Yeah.
It's like the episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets stuck in the water slide.
Show is so damn good.
Always topical. Always
Yep,
topical.
Always, yeah.
Like ointment.
So, okay, so you see, as you are discussing your plan, you're making your discussion that 4 of these undead stand up, making a total of 5 in your near vicinity. The one that is shambling towards you from the depth of the hole seems to be more quickly moving than the others. The others are still getting to stretch their muscles for the first time. What is your tactical plan retreat? What is your order of exit? Because not all of you are going to be able to leave without getting a couple swipes taken out at you.
I'm already trombling, baby.
I'm hell bent for leather. Yeah, like I think it's pretty much every one of us for ourselves.
Yeah,
Like,
And we will roll initiative. Everyone roll. I will have everyone roll d6, and we'll have the 2 lowest rolling people be the ones that get caught by the undead.
A 3 for me.
I got a 5.
2.
John,
I
what
made
did
it.
you?
3 of us rolled a 2.
All right, so 2 of you get out real fast, and then I'm just imagining that fast. You are just kind of hold up the line and make it where all 3 of you are in a vulnerable
The 3 of them are
state.
behind my fat ass.
I was sort of picturing
So-
it like when the 3 Stooges all try to go through a door at the same time. You know? Yeah.
I am all 3
Yuck,
Stooges.
yuck.
And Shep.
Shit.
Fake Shep too.
Yeah.
Maybe even Curly Joe.
So the 3 of you, I'll need you to roll me your defense roll. As these zombies move in, you see that 2 of them are like look like crewmates wearing the standard working uniform of the Spanish. One of them looks to be an officer, and then you have someone else that just looks like they might have been a serf that's moving in for the attack.
That's an agility roll, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I rolled a 13.
Okay. So your standard defense is going to be 12, so you've passed. What about you, Spike, and Death Turtle, or not Death Turtle, excuse me, Burnout?
19.
19. Okay. And Spike?
Mine. Let me see. I rolled the wrong one. 19.
Okay. So it just looks like the fat man eats it. So,
See,
So-
I rolled good.
I thought you rolled a 13. That's right. Sorry. I don't know why in my head I just made it.
Even so, that was quality wordplay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I, for some reason, turned your 13 into a 3. I don't know why. So the 3 of you are able to move out of the way, partly because the reanimated Changanger pulls his chain in such a way that it causes some of those zombies to trip a bit. As you exit the hole, you hear the sound of dismemberment and hoots and hollering and the sound of rattling chains. Outside of the ship, you can see that those undead that were pursuing you are beginning to spill out. The 5 of them are beginning to try to climb out of the hole. Out of the hole in the hole. That sounds like a
tough
speech
one.
therapy workout.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Plus having like a head cold at the same time, that's that's a challenge. So you see that there are these 5 that are here in the immediacy. You're not sure how many more there might be in that ship. Now that you're tactfully outside the hole, we'll do round robin initiative since you have time to kind of plan a bit. So we'll start off with fast, and then we'll move to checkmate, burnout, depth turtle, and then spike at last.
Sorry, who is first? Is it me?
You. Yeah.
Okay.
Fastness.
Yeah. And have I trumbled all the way to the hole and gone through, or?
Yes, all of you were able to get out of
that's
that.
Fine.
Yeah.
My mind was scrambling there for a second to like make sense of anything. The COVID fog is real, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the as soon as I get outside the ship, I turn to face and whip out my trusty machete. It looks in my like bear-like mitt, it looks a little bit like a hunting knife. But yeah, I'm taking my stance, and if there are any undead falling out of the ship towards me, I'm gonna take a swipe at them.
All right, go ahead and make me your attack roll.
Okay. That's a big old nope.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 4.
Okay. So slightly out of breath, you swipe your machete at one of the undead. This one looks to be badly surfed in the very ratty clothing, and your blade falls short. Like it cuts into his shirt, but he's so gaunt with a sucked-in stomach that you just hit nothing but air. He lunges forward at you, and another one spills out of the hole, one that is in the officer uniform. You can see hanging at his side is a waterfowl pistol, and he also has some type of very fancy officer sword in a scabbard, but does not seem that he knows he has either of them as he begins to stumble out of the hole. Next in initiative is checkmate.
Yeah, I'm going to, against my better judgment, I might as well attack the nearest one. So I'm just going to take a swing at his neck with my my boarding axe, which is quite thoroughly bloodstained. And yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Oh, what happens is predictably terrible. That's a 9, a nat 11 with a -2 modifier for a 9.
And I'll just put this as a reminder, since now that we are in a different mode of play, feel free if it wants to use Devil's Luck, because you'll have opportunities for that to refill. That's not me telling you what to do. It's just usually people forget to use those. So do you want to use, or?
Yeah, I'll use it, and thank you. I would have forgotten. So let's see what happens. Well, that's damn near the same thing. That's an 8 that time.
So as you tap into Devil's Luck, you feel that hole that you burned into the back of your brain just widen just a little bit more, and a little bit more brain matter seep through. You kind of like the taste of your own brain, which you don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It just is what it is.
Burnout, you see checkmate take a swipe and a miss, and then have a very strange blank look for half of a second. You have these 2 zombies coming towards you.
I attack the zombies.
Okay, so that officer is probably going to be kind of moving your general direction, and knowing your hatred for captaincy and such, that stokes your ire.
Yeah, I should be the one in charge, clearly. Even on this ship, I should be in charge. And I charge, and then I attack with my saber.
Love it.
All right, so that is what do I add a modifier to that or?
It's just going to be like a standard Mork Borg attack, so it's strength. So it's DR12 strength roll.
DR12, so I roll a D12?
Oh, no. You're going to roll D20,
D20,
and then you're going to add your strength, so that's +1 for your character.
15 total. I had
Fantastic.
it right. It's just we play so many games. Sometimes I honestly.
That's why I just thought I'd put it out there because I do put you through the gamut of things. So you charge forward, putting all of your hatred into the tip of your blade, and you run this thing through. What damage do you inflict upon this thing?
Right, so D6 damage, DR +4 agility test. Okay, so let's see here. I rolled a 2 on my D6.
Okay.
And then
so you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, just letting as a reminder for your character, Pashki, your pig sticker, the weapon you're attacking, because of your class, you actually attack at an easier level. So that would have been a DR10 in your case, because that's your favorite weapon, just as a for next time you are hacking into a thing. So you shank it for 2 points of damage, and you feel the blade grate across bone, and it looks at you with a blank expression as if it doesn't feel the pain at all, and it begins to swipe out with its limbs as you hold it at the tip of your sword point. You see behind it that the other undead are beginning to spill out. So you see, again, more of these corpses coming out. So next in initiative is you, Death Turtle. You see in the very far distance, the chain gang looks like it's did not survive the onslaught that you left.
Yeah. Well, seeing my new friend fall in battle, I'm going to reach into my satchel and pull out the relic that I rolled up when I made the character, Cross of the Paragon, and I'm going to run up behind Burnout and touch him with it and just kind of mumble some stuff. What it does is on if I pass the spirit test, DR12, one ally gains +1 to attack and +1 to damage for D6 rounds. So
fun thing, a relic you use automatically, but then you roll spirit after you use it. So it's successful to begin with, but then you see at what cost.
Okay. So
and a ritual's the other way. You do the spirit roll before you find out if it's successful. So kind of a fun little twist. Burnout, you get +1 to hit and damage for the rest of the adventure.
Hey.
And let's see if there is a cost to that.
Rest of the adventure?
I mean, rest of today.
Okay. Darn.
Yeah, for D6 rounds. So I rolled a 14 and I've got +3 spirits, so that's 17.
You pass. You can feel it wanting to almost like pull at your life force, but you were able to hold yourself steady against it. And you hear some of those ghosts echoing you as they kind of whisper eldritch things, a little more ways that you can use this for the glory of Bastastan and other debaucherous and terrible acts. Next in initiative is you, Spike.
All right. Says a 15.
Or attacking?
Oh, my musket. I've been prepping this, so I just figured I had already told you. Yeah, so I have a musket, which is awesome, and I'm going to fire at. Let's see, it's got a range of about 150 feet. I'll go for the zombie closest to me.
The fun thing for people unfamiliar with how guns work in this is that guns bypass all armor. So even if you're wearing Conquistador full plate armor, it is taper thin when being shot at with an actual firearm. So very deadly weapons in this.
I don't know why we're bringing up my Conquistador armor again. I don't want to talk about it. I just
kind of sounds you want to talk about it.
I feel like you want to talk about it. I mean, I also opening coat Conquistador armor.
Opening coat skin.
Nice.
I love it. So roll your damage.
So I get 2d6 for my damage.
And were you attacking one that was not being stuck like a pig?
Yes.
I'm assuming
The not stuck pig one.
Absolutely.
So that's an 11, 6 plus 5.
So the one that is clawing towards Fastinus, you blast off of his feet. Literally, you blast a hole so hard in his chest that he flies off his feet, leaving his feet behind, and he crashes against the side of the hole and slips down into the water.
Musket.
The report is deafening in the still quiet of this, and for a second you think you hear something not inside the ship, but beyond the ship in the fog.
Oh boy. Okay.
You think you hear maybe the sound of, I don't know, ropes slapping against the side of a ship,
I'm
or
sure it's going to be fine.
something hitting the waves. Next, in the top of the initiative, it is the zombie's turn. The zombie that's at the tip of your blade is moving in with its claws, Burnout, and is trying to, remove your face forcibly by the end of its gnarled fingertips. Roll me agility, or your defense.
Okay, agility. So 14.
So you hold it fast on the tip of the blade. You kind of, almost like a knitting hook, move your sword inside just enough that you can kind of really hold it in place and kind of push against bone, and it just flails in your face. So the zombie that got knocked off his feet gets replaced with another zombie. All the other ones have spilled out, so now there's the 4 remaining zombies, one that's on the tip of the sword. Another one of those zombies moves in towards you, Checkmate, since you're close to the hole, since you charge forward. This one is a bloody, tattered mess. It looks like something had ripped out its throat, and it's missing the lower part of its jaw, and it ambles towards you to take a bite. Make me another agility check, Checkmate.
You got it.
I'm sorry. The entire time I was saying checkmate, I meant to say burnout.
Oh, okay.
Because burnout is front. I apologize. That is, I got my sheets mixed.
No problem.
14?
You completely passed burnout, but I was going to give you one anyways, checkmate. So now, now you have another kind of Spanish uniform wearing person that is advancing towards you. So I should have just gone with that. Apologies.
No worries. Can I go? I'm gonna go with what I rolled then.
Yeah, perfectly fair.
And that would be 15.
15. So you move out of the way. It is still very ungainly, as if this actually hasn't been very undead for long, and it just swipes at you and almost trips over itself. Top of the initiative, Fastinus.
There we go.
That's you, John.
Yep, I was turning myself off mute. I learned.
He's evolving.
I am going to. I want to step on something's head.
I want you to.
I want to too, but I don't think any of the undead are crawling around. Oh, actually, you said they're spilling out of the hole. Are there any that have fallen prone?
None. All of them are on the feet, except for the one that was blasted literally off his feet, but it is very re-dead.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't help me. Yeah, I'm going to surge forward and raising my machete, I kind of flail about towards the undead with it. The parrot poking its head out from between my ample bosoms to scream profanities at them.
Heaving bosoms at this point.
Sweating. That parrot is drenched. Shit! Fuck you! That is a 15.
So you surge forward using all of the might of your bulk behind you, like a slow-moving bull, and
I came
you
in like a
power through.
wrecking ball.
Roll me some of that good old damage.
That's a very sexy 2, my friend.
All right. So you hack into it and you expose its meat. You can see that the blood has curdled inside of its, abdomen, and it kind of plops out in large, meaty blobs. Next in initiative is checkmate.
I love that because you said that the way that someone would like describe like a Big Mac on TV, like, and its guts plopped out in large, meaty blobs. Like, it was almost appetizing. Yeah,
I'm loving it. Come on, McDonald's, sponsor us.
All right.
Oh, that'd be the weirdest fucking sponsorship.
I am going to take a swipe
Burger Punk.
at the jawless fella that took a swipe at me with my boarding axe. Let's see how it goes. Come on. I might have actually connected this time. Hang on. 16.
Yeah, that is a solid hit against this.
Hell yeah. It's 1d6 damage and 1 point of damage.
All right. So you remove another section of its upper jaw, just leaving nothing but nostrils, like asynchronously flaring at you as if perhaps a little bit surprised, maybe angry. You can't tell since it's missing everything below it. But it begins, you can see like from its ruined throat that the epiglottis is kind of flapping angrily at least. And it is still ambling towards you. Next in initiative is Burnout.
All right. So, can I aim for the head? Can I remove the head
or the brain?
Or the brain?
I mean, absolutely. Okay. I'm going to still treat it as a standard thing. I'm not going to make it like a cold shot like something else. It'll still be the standard to hit, so it's not going to be harder. Just for flavor.
So that is an 18 to hit.
Well, I mean, then you don't forget you've got +1 to hit and damage.
That is a 19 to hit.
Absolutely. So it's a very solid, mighty hit. So that is 1d6 plus 1 damage from you.
4.
So you... this is the one you're still having the tip of your sword. You run it through, just dragging it up in a sawing motion, and you just split it in half, and you hear a creaking sound just around from the hip region as it unsocks itself and just timbers. So there are 2 of these left. Next in initiative is you, Death Turtle.
I'm going to try the spiritual possession again, see if I can get one of these zombies to fight the other zombie. And I know that it is randomly done, but I'm going to give it a shot anyways. So,
all right. Just roll me a d6. If it's a 1, then you're going to possess a coworker.
Oh boy. It's a 2.
Okay. So you possess the zombie that is missing most of its face because it has less resistance given to all of the parts of it missing. So its body fills with the spirit of, well, you'd probably know that person intimately, but I won't speak their name lest I summon them. And you fill that zombie with that spirit. It quickly snaps to attention and it waits your instructions.
I'm going to tell him to turn around and fight the other guy.
Nice.
And it does so. It leans forward as if it wants to take a bite, realizes it doesn't have a jaw, and then just headbutts the other zombie. Go ahead and roll for its attack.
All right. That is a 1.
I love it. He cracks his head so hard against the other zombie, he breaks his own skull open and he just dies again.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Sorry, guys. I did what I could.
That
No, you
worked.
did. took one of them
so
out.
now
Yeah.
there's one zombie left, and it's
Yep.
all yours, Spike.
And I have a gun.
And that one,
Yep.
so you can see that this is, got plinked at by checkmate, and so it is already wounded, and it just needs the bare kiss of your musket to take it out. Also, don't forget to keep track of your ammo, since ammo is
yes, my gun holds 10.
Also, my YA time travel romance novel, The Bare Kiss of His Musket.
love
In,
that.
in about 4 weeks when I finish writing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I love
sounds like that's also going to be banned by almost every library in every red state.
This means achievement unlocked for me. I'd love to have one of my books banned. That'd be so dope.
I'm hoping Unclean Verses gets me there, baby.
Yeah.
So, do you give it the kiss of death, Spike?
I got an 11.
So that is just on the threshold. You need a 12. Do you want to use a point of Devil's Luck to bump it up?
Yeah, let's use a point of Devil's Luck.
So as you are lighting up your sight, you notice that there is a crab that is beginning to just climb its way up this body. And it catches your attention just enough that you are able to get your sights focused and your shot is true. I'm assuming, you go ahead and roll, but roll your damage, because I'm fairly certain that you're going to disassemble this.
It's a 9 total.
Beautiful. You're pretty sure you see the crab wink before the zombie just turns into a red shroud of mist and meat particles that just happen to completely shower checkmate. And you're pretty sure that he likes it.
Oh, you bet. Yeah. In the biz, we just call that gravy. Gravy or scrapings, either way.
So as you brace yourself and wait, you don't see any more zombies climb out the hold. I need the lot of you to make me a perception, a presence check.
7.
Ooh, not good. Let me see.
1.
6.
3.
21. Nat 20.
Dang.
You got a nat 20.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as you are doing everything you can to quiet your breath, because you don't want to get yourself too worked up and get into one of those like spasms of you hear something just beyond the other side of the ship. It sounds like a heavy gloop sound, followed by the sound of, you're pretty sure it's rope on wood, and you see that the wall of fog that has been obscuring the other side of the ship and obscuring the westward view of the ocean begins to part a bit, and you're very certain that you see 3 masts and gossamer black sails, like not normal sails on this ship. In fact, as you kind of get on your tippy toes and feel the full weight of your corpuscence on your tiptoes, you can make out what looks to be like a very ghostly-like ship, very spectral, as it goes westward, and in its wake, the fog parts.
That's not great.
It's probably the Flying Dutchman, which might be great. I don't know.
We have more company, friends.
I'm gonna need more bullets.
Not more company, they're leaving.
Oh.
They're going westward from here.
Did they take all of the ash?
You have to go back in the hole and take a look-see.
Who's going back in the hole with me?
Okay, we're leaving Thunderbuns out here this time if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Although we probably killed everything that's in there. So you can Winnie the Pooh your way in, John. It'll be fine. Yeah, let's go back and see what they took. I'm curious.
Yeah.
When you go back in the hole, the first thing that you notice is that there are a lot less bodies that were. I mean, the floor was carpeted in bodies. You re-identified 5 of them. You collected a lot of stew pot meat, but most of the bodies are gone.
Oh shit!
It doesn't look like
they're crewing the boat.
They took off.
Oh, that's a positive in my opinion.
I mean, if I'd known they could crew a boat, maybe we'd get that sloop off the ground. We could get out of this goddamn dinghy, but oh well.
I don't know. I think it's kind of cozy.
I like the dinghy.
Okay.
That was someone's mother's dinghy.
That dinghy has been there. That dinghy has been there for us for a long time. We've been on several missions with that dinghy.
True.
I love that dinghy. I carved my initials in the side, at least what I think they are, on account that I can't read.
There's a problem.
Can any of us read?
If we're being like true to the setting, then John probably can. Since wasn't Wadsworth or whatever his name is an officer of some kind? I think you have to be
Fast Marlowe.
Fast Marlowe. Okay, and wasn't he an officer of some kind before he was?
Yeah, I was a non-commissioned officer out of academy.
I'm pretty. Yeah, you know how to read.
I am actually like before my cannibalistic fall. I was essentially a minor noble.
Yeah,
sent to academy, given command of given a command position, which I immediately abused and ate everyone.
Yeah. It's a good thing to do with a position of power is eat everybody. Yeah. Okay, so missing corpses. Maybe we get. Do you guys want to just load up the ash and go see if we can sell it for some sweet folding pieces of 8?
I have no need to sell it. I'm happy to give it away, but if you want to make some money, I won't stop you.
I am never touching that shit again.
I don't plan to use it either, friend. Spread the wealth.
Do you want to go through the various cargo to see what was actually on the ship?
Yeah.
Yes.
So as you are going through the piles of cargo, you can see that this isn't merely just heaped up because of how the ship crashed. Most of all these containers have been intentionally cracked into and rifled through, and most of the contents have been spoiled or fouled. You see that there are crates full of ash. There are crates full of coffee beans, tobacco, and food that has become putrid and just offers a terrible fermenting and rotting stench. It's been mixed together. Looks as if people were cracking apart every single container they could get their hands on, and like they were looking for something. Kind of fast forwarding, so we're low on time for the rest of this evening. Digging through the detritus, you find 10 crates of ash that are still more or less unmolested. 130 pieces of silver kind of scattered around, maybe falling out of the corpse's pockets. Someone roll me D6.
That is a 3.
3 bottles of wine. Oddly enough, it's British wine, even though this is a Spanish ship.
That is weird because, like, the Spanish made good wine. The Brits didn't make wine worth a shit.
They were bringing it as a punishment.
Okay. Yeah.
As you are going through the rest of the ship, gathering bits of information, kind of combing through it, it looks as if the zombies or whatever happened here, the entire ship is in utter disarray. Doors have been chaotically ripped off. Tons of damage from looks like fighting, musket holes in the wall, lots of slashing, blood everywhere. But there's no more bodies despite anywhere you go in the ship. As you go into the captain's cabin and loot and rifle through there as well, you find a couple of other things that kind of catch your curiosity. Hidden inside of a locked drawer, which isn't locked for long given all of your implements, like the pig sticker and your boarding axe, you find a deep blue gemstone that seems very out of place and oddly carved, as if following a certain shape or something you're not exactly sure what it is. I can hear beans snoring.
Yes.
Maybe.
There's a flask.
Damn.
You find a alchemical flask. There is an alchemical system in this game as well. It has an odd symbol on the label that looks very much like an asterisk. The fluid inside is purple, and it shimmers a little bit as you look at it in the light. Lastly, as you go through these drawers of the officer's desk, you find that there is like ledgers of transactions and soggy maps from what looks like something was spilled across this desk during the shuffle, but of the local island system. And you see that all of the areas where there are major markets are circled. And in particular, you see there's a red arrow pointing down to Tortuga, and every ash den is also highlighted along with all of the market areas.
Hello friends, it's me, John Baldusberger. Just have a few quick announcements. First, Ian is editing Powell's Whisper of the Woods. It is live on Kickstarter right now. Kevin has a new episode of Flail to the Face. It's episode 14, Unholy Nativity, and it's really exciting because it features Johan Noor, the original creator of Mork Borg. So definitely go check that out. We have a new book coming from Nate Southard called Porcelain. It's one of my favorite books. It's incredible. It's kind of a psychosexual thriller, and it's really incredible. On top of that, on January 19th, my next book, Unclean Verses by John Baldusberger, is coming out. An extreme horror retelling of Dante's Inferno. And finally, keep your eyes peeled on the Madness Heart Games Twitter feed or the OneMonCast Twitter feed, because we'll be announcing a Zine Quest folding map game that should be really cool coming soon. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.